Hello everyone and welcome back to another webinar. This month we're going to do it on breeding. It's a very busy time for you all. We're going to go through the app from start to finish, just focusing mainly on the breeding section. Just before we get started, I'm going to share my screen so you can all see. So just to introduce ourselves, my name is Katie Shanahan. I'm Content Marketing Executive here at Herdwatch, and I'm joined by Chris Goode, who is the Customer Support Team Lead. So between myself and Chris, we're going to go through the app, and then Chris will give a little demo. So to go through the Herdwatch story to date, and we'll just go through a few of the figures. So we have over 21,000 Herdwatch members worldwide, over 2.3 million cattle in the app, over 2.9 million calf births recorded, over 1.7 million sheep on the app, and over 750,000 acres mapped on the Herdwatch app. So just to give you a little backstory, so Herdwatch was launched in 2014. We have been helping over 20,000 members with their herd performance and farm compliance. In 2023, we transitioned from Herdwatch to cattle and dairy, sheep and goats, and grass and crops. So these are now our new branding going forward. So it would have been known as Herdwatch and Flockwatch. Now it's just Herdwatch, and we have these three different tools then from it. So we are 10 years old this year. So just to show you what we're going to go through, we'll touch a little bit on calf registration. We'll explain what the watchboard is and how you can get different reminders in terms of your heats, heat detections, and so on. Your serve records, scanning records, your due to calf list, how it's generated and where to find it. Cows that are awaiting a heat, your heat by due date. We'll go through just mainly list a few of the new releases, the new features there that have been released this month. And then at the end, we'll go through a little Q&A. So we have a few questions here that people sent in online, and they sent into our customer support team. So yeah, today will mainly be the breeding section which you can find from the home screen. So I'm now going to pass you over to Chris here beside me. He will go through the live demo. So if you have your phones handy and you want to pull it up just to follow along what he's doing, you can be doing that there now while Chris is just setting up.
Perfect, thanks Katie. Now, so
I'll just open it up there for you now.
Perfect.
Yeah, so off you go, Chris.
So a few different areas I'm going to cover off are mainly around the breeding element. So, and then link it into the calf registration. So the first feature that we'll cover is the calf registration. So as you're all aware, it's the main home screen of Herdwatch. So from there, we have our 6 main tiles where you can click into all the different features. So for calf registration, we have the quick action here. So you can press calf registration, select your gender, so male or female. And from here, then you can fill in the required fields and then the optional fields. So you'll see here, any of the fields that are highlighted in orange, they're a required field. So the first thing you'll start off with is your gender, which you've selected. Then you have your tag number option. So you have a few different options when it comes to inputting the tag number. So you can press the option here for select next tag. So that works in regions where we have an available list from the ministry or department on the tags that are available to your herd. So this is our demo account, so we have no tags available on the demo account. But if you press that option there, it'll give you a full list of the tag numbers available. The other option is if you're using your phone, you can scan the tag, or else you can type in the digits at the end. So I'll just type in a few digits here. So then your date of birth is your next option. It'll always default to today's date. Your calving difficulties, your few different drop-down options here. So I'll just say it's a normal calving. You have the option to add an image then, and then you come on to your dam selection. So if your breeding records are recorded through Herdwatch, the breeding records will link to the cow, and then from that we'll be able to pull in the most recent breeding event with the dam onto the registration. So if I go into my dam selection list, I select dam. If there's a breeding record, it'll pre-populate these fields here. If not, it'll allow you to fill them in yourself. So I should have a dam here that has breeding records against it. Now, so this dam here, her last serve was from this bull. So this will automatically come in against the dam on the registration. Now, if it's a case that it's the incorrect bull and it's your stock bull, you have the option here of clicking on it and selecting your stock bull from the list. Now, you may notice these new options on top. So in the event that the bull is not shown in your active sires, you're able to select them from your legacy sire list, or your moved out option if the bull has since left the herd. You also have an option for any males in herd. So I'm happy enough that this is the sire of the calf. You have optional fields here on calf size and vigor. You can input your pedigree name if it's a pedigree registration. In the event that the calf died at birth, you can put in if it's stillborn or not in Ireland. There's different options in the UK and Northern Ireland. If the calf had died, we'd register them. But say for the purpose of the demo here today, we're on an Irish herd. So when I say that this calf's alive, I can import the genetic dam if it's a embryo transfer. I can input the calf weight as well. Now, calf weight is assumed at 40 kilos for a heifer calf or 45 kilos for a bull calf. So I can leave that blank if I want. So I'm happy enough with what details I've inputted. I just press save. Now it'll prompt you if you want to register the calf there and then on the spot. If not, you can press not now, and that'll allow you to review the calf registration details. So from here, you can press register calf now. Now, in the event that after creating a few calves on Herdwatch and I want to batch register them, we have the option on our complete plan where you can go into compliance, calves to register, and select the batch register option here on top. So that allows you to select the multiple calves that you've created and send them off in one go. So that's on the complete plan when it comes to registering calves. But it's just a handy feature there if you're dealing in a large volume of calves in the springtime. So that's calf registration. So we'll come back to a few different questions kind of linked to calf reg as well and breeding in a while. So I'll kind of go straight in onto the breeding section of Herdwatch. So as you all know, it's here on the home screen, we have our breeding tile here. And in the breeding section, you'll see all your breakdown of everything that Herdwatch will look after and that you can record through the app. So I suppose your cows are after calving, you're monitoring their heats. So if you want to record, the first feature I'll go through is recording the heat detection in Herdwatch. So if you just go +, heat observation, it'll allow you to put in the date that you notice the heat. And you have the option of setting it to whatever days you want a reminder for. Now it'll default to whatever date you have in your settings, but I'll show you the settings option in a while. So you'll see here we have a bar where you're able to change how many cycle reminders you want. So if I want to know for the next 2 cycles, I'll change it. I can put in who was observed by, I can put in a notes and it's all that I want. So when I press next, it'll give me a selection list of any of the cows in my herd. And I can just select the cow and press save. Losing the mouse. The mouse is not working. Now, so press save. And that's my heat observation record. So 21 days from today, you'll get a reminder. So your reminder will show on your watch board. So if I check my watch board today, I have some heats due. So in the heats due section here, it'll tell me what cows are due to repeat. So from there, if you're recording your serve, you can go forward and record your serve in the app then. So another option then when it comes to heats, if you're in your breeding section, you have your no heats or serves since calving. So it'll give you a full list of any non-cycling cows or any non-serve cows. So it's just a handy list to be kind of monitoring. And as well as that, then we have heats by due date, where you can see any of the heat detections that you've recorded, and then based on the due dates of when they're due to repeat. So there are 2 very handy lists when it comes to breeding. So now that say the cow is due to repeat, we're going to record a serve. So it depends. If you're doing DIY AI, you can record a serve in the app yourself. Or in Ireland here, if you have an AI technician come to the farm and he's using the handheld, they'll automatically go to ICBF and then we'll be able to bring him into the app. So your serves, you'll have an overview list here of any cows that served, and you'll have a list of all serves that were done. But if I want to record a serve in Herdwatch, I go to my + again, I click on the serve option, and then we put in the date served. Now it'll always default to today's date again, but if I want to backdate a few days, I can do that. So say I'll backdate to yesterday. So then your next option, so you can see here just below it gives you an estimated calving date based on your serve date, and that goes from the gestation that you've set in your settings. Well, I'll come to the settings in a while. So in your AI stock bull list, you'll select the bull or the straw, or say the sire of the straw that you're going to use. So the active sires will show any sires used in your herd in the last 18 months. Or if it's a straw that you haven't used in 18 months and it's an older straw that you had, you can click it in the legacy sire list. So I can select my bull from here, but if it's a case that the sire is not in the list here, I can always add the sire. Select the sire type, put in my AI code. So we'll just go 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I select my breed there. So I'm happy with the details here. I can press save. So a few different options here. With sex semen, you can select the gender, whoever your AI supplier was or who performed it. If you want to find the cost, you can do that. So if you're happy enough with the details here, you can continue forward and select the cow. Now, something else here while we're in the service section. If it's a case that you're running a bull with your cows, you can select the stock bull here instead of an AI bull, and you can put in the kind of the period that the bull is running with the cow. So your serve date will be the day the bull is let out with the cows at first, and then when you select the little running with bull toggle here, you can put in the day the bull leaves. So that'll record that serve. So it's handy if you're doing AI and you're running a bull, because you can record the 2 different serves against your cows. But for the purpose of the demo here, we'll go with an AI bull. So put this one here. So when I'm happy enough, I have my sire selected, my date, brings me into my selection list here, and I can click on the cow then. So I'll put this cow here and save. So that's my serve recorded. That serve then goes into the animal's individual history. And from that serve then, we would estimate a calving day for that cow now for next year. So that's from your serves. When you go back to your breeding overview, you'll see now that this cow is in your serve list, and you can see all serves. So if your technician is coming out to the farm, you don't have to worry about inputting these. We'll get them in from ICVF. So after your serves recorded, you might be scanning down the line. So you have an option here to check in your await and scan list, which will give you any females in the herd that have a serve against them. So you have to look at both serve females and all breeding females. So to record a scan in the app, it's very easy. You can press the plus sign, pregnancy scan, put in the date of your scanning, press next. So it brings you into a full list of your cows. So you can go again based on serve females or breeding females. So I click on my cow, and then it's according to your scanners shouting out days, you just put in the number of days that the cow's in calf. If it's in a case that the cow is not in calf, you can unselect the toggle here. If the cow is in calf to twins, you just select the toggle underneath. If you want to recheck that cow at a future scanning, you can select the option here. So you also have the option if you want to put in the sire. So if you know this cow is after getting 2 serves from 2 different AI bulls, you can check your breeding events here and check the 2 different serves. And then say if you know whichever sire it is, going by how many days in calf, you're able to select the sire in your AI stock bull list here. So it's another handy option. If you know the expected gender, you can fill in that field here. Then you have just more optional fields. So when I'm happy with the details against this cow, just press next. I go to my next cow, and I type in how many days she's in calf. So when I'm happy then with all the scan results that I've recorded, I just press save, and that'll save the pregnancy scan then. So that'll update your expected calving date for that cow. So on your scan results list here, you'll see what's in calf based on your scan results, what's currently empty, and if you did a pre-breeding scan, they'll show here. So that's just in regards to the scanning. So when you have your scanning results in, your serves done, you have your heat detections, from all the information that we built up on the breeding and your herd, we'll be able to generate the due to calve list. So when it's coming around to calving, you'll have the due to calve list here that'll show you all the cows that are due to calve. And it's according to your registering the calves to the cows, your calf list will update then as well. So all this information that you're putting into breeding is kind of based off the settings that you want suitable to your own herd. So if you want to update your breeding settings at any point, if you're on your home page, you can press the 3 lines in the top left, go into settings, and you'll see here under breeding, we have all these different options. So your breeding season start date, right, should always be set to So for argument's sake, if you're starting to breed now on your farm, you should update it to say this month if that's the case. So I'm going to update the breeding season start date in this herd. So that'll allow just for breeding records from this season onward show. So say last year's service won't show on the app for you. Now it's not a case that they're going to be removed. They'll always be on the cow's history, but it just won't clog up your breeding section on the app. So if you want to adjust your gestation period, you can do that here. Breeding age, or say breeding start age, you can update here as well. You have cows repeats, repeat days. You have all these different options that you can update. As well as that, if you're updating your breeding records, just check your watch board. So if I'm happy enough with the details I've updated here, just press save. Then my watch board settings. So for my repeat range, I just want to update what I want my watch board to update me on. So I can just update the details here. Also, you have your days from calving reminder. So you can put in the number of days prior to calving based on the due date that we have. That'll pop up in your watch board to watch out. That's just with your watch board and breeding settings. So when it comes to breeding, you have this whole section here where you can look at all your different information that you've inputted. We also have the breeding performance. So based on whatever information you put in, so this is reset now because I've changed the breeding setting or the breeding season start date. So you can look at how, like, say, your percentage of what cows have been served against like cows served that are empty or 6 week in calf period. You can also look at a kind of a pregnancy overview then as to what's been scanned in calf, how many cows have been calved. They're just handy kind of stats and figures to look at your breeding for your farm. So that's all in regards to breeding. I suppose there's a few questions, Katie.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, we have it open there.
Yeah.
So the first one there that came in was, can I print my due to calf list?
Yep. So if you go into management and reports, under breeding reports here, you have multiple, a couple of different reports in regards to your breeding. So like you have your due to calf confirmed, your expected calving dates, a general breeding report that'll give you a report on all the breeding events that you've recorded, and then you also have your animal born farm.
Perfect. So then in terms of my genotyped calves, can I register them on the Herdwatch app?
Yep. So you can register your calves as normal if you're in the DNA program, and the calf will be registered in Herdwatch. You just need to ensure that you send off your sample, your DNA sample, for testing. And as Gordon said, the details are updated then. Once the city animal is considered in herd by the department, it'll stay in herd.
Perfect. The next one is, will the app remember the bull I used for when calf registration time comes around?
Yeah. So when it comes to your sires, you might have seen me looking at the active and legacy AI list. So if I'm in my herd under a smart list option, you'll see here I have active AI bulls. So this will give you a list of bulls that you're currently using in the farm. Now you can refresh that, and that'll refresh like any bulls that haven't been used in the last 2 years. So it kind of cleans up the list for you. Then if it's a stock bull that's currently in herd, you need to make sure that you have set him as a stock bull. So if you're in your stock bull, click into the bull's profile, press the 3 dots in the top right hand corner and select edit. Scroll down and you'll see this little toggle here. Just make sure that that's turned on, and that bull then will be an option for breeding in the app.
And that's the same then for if you put a serve in against a cow, it'll remember the bull.
Yeah. So like if I go into any of the cow's profiles here, there's a serve against it. That's a bad example. I'll just click into breeding and serves. Cow served. So you'll see here, if I'm in that cow's profile, in its history, you can see the serve against that cow and what bull it was.
Brilliant. Next one was, I don't pay for Herd Plus on ICBF. Will my AI records come down to the Herdwatch app automatically?
Yeah, so if your serve records are on ICBF and you're not a Herd Plus member, we'll get your basic information now from ICBF. So serves will be a part of that. So they'll come into Herdwatch. Now, if you want to, say if you're checking for your serves from ICBF, if you're in your serve list and you click on the serve, it'll have source ICBF on the bottom. So that's where you'll check for them.
Brilliant. There was one asking for the due to calf list, but I think you have that covered. Another one here, why can't I add a serve for my younger heifers?
Okay, so if you're running the bull with your heifers, or you're putting in an AI serve to them, just be conscious of their breeding start age. So if you're in your settings, just be conscious that you have this set to, so say if you have a heifer that's 11 months and you're running her with the bull, just make sure you've set this back to 11 in order for that heifer to show on the list for available for breeding.
Brilliant. They were the main questions that came in. Again, if you do have any other questions, you can use even the message feature here on the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that, pop us a message, and the team are fairly quick to get back to you. You can always get in touch on social media or anything like that. And again, someone on the team will make sure your question is answered. So I'm just going to go back to our PowerPoint there again, just to finish up quickly, just a few points to go over. So we have covered our Q&A. Again, we have our herdwatch.com website. You can go in here to member support. In there, you'll find different things like help articles, video tutorials, and then older webinars, which we have covered in the past few months. You can re-watch them. There might be other topics you want to refresh yourself on in terms of anything got to do within the app. So do check that out. It's a handy tool to have, and there's also different things in there like our blogs and even a little backstory and explaining the app in a little bit more detail. So make sure to check that out. Just to briefly go over, there's a new release coming out this month. So a few of the new features, I suppose the Wayhead integration was a massive request over the last few months. And we can say now that we do integrate with the True Test Easy Way. So that is the one we are integrating with at the moment. There will be more to come, but that was the most asked feature request over the last few months. So we're delighted to say that's out. In terms of sheep and goats then, there's new weight insights and stock number reports. In the cattle and dairy section, there is now a big screen experience, so a new reporting first solution for Herdwatch members. There is a sales planner view, so replicating, this is replicating a Kingswood feature. There's Kerry and Arrivo integration, and then in grass and crops, there's field record reports, field perimeter, so you can now calculate your field perimeter for fencing, grass measurement reports, and grass cover map, so a visual representation of your most recent grass records. So they're just a few of the new features. Again, there probably will be a little bit more in depth, maybe in the next webinar on what those are. We might go through a few more of them, but that is probably the most, everything that would have got to do with globally coming out in April. But if you have any questions on those, do get in touch, and always remember to update your app so you do have access to all of these. That would just be in your Play Store or your App Store. So then in terms of exciting things that are happening, do keep up to date with our Ag Ventures and podcasts and our blogs. So they can be found on herdwatch.com. You can see them there there's a section for Ag Ventures and our podcast. Our podcast is also on Spotify, so it's called the Agri Pod by Herdwatch. And again, all of the above are also available on our YouTube channel. Just search for Herdwatch YouTube and you'll find them all there. So we have done some exciting ones in the last few months. We've gone to Karen Moynihan down in Kerry. We had a podcast with Cami, and we hope to go visit him in Scotland during the lambing season. So do keep up to date with those. Always remember as well, we have a refer a friend scheme going. So you can get €100 or £100 off your next renewal just by referring a friend. Again, there's more information on our website on that. Just search herdwatch.com/refer a friend and you'll find out more on that. So that brings us to the end of this month's webinar. We hope we answered all your questions and queries. And again, if you do have any more, please do get in touch. But until next month, thanks a million, Chris, for helping me out with the live demo. And thank you all for watching.